Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I want to go ahead and shout out Edith Lowe. Edith Lowe and several people have been sending me this story. They want to know my opinion on it. So unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you guys have all heard now about the story about the girl from KFC. Her name was Victoria Wilcher. She was a 3-year-old child. She was disfigured by a pit bull attack, and supposedly her grandmother took her to KFC, and the KFC employees came up to her and told her that her and her grandchild had to leave because her scars and the way she looked was scaring other customers. So the grandmother took to Facebook. She wrote this whole complaint. The media ended up contacting her, and the story went viral. And folks were donating money and everything else. And people were sending me the story. Kevin Duke sent me the story. VH1 Access. So many folks sent me this story. But if you guys go on my Facebook page, I never shared the story. I never spoke on the story. I never posted the story. Nor did I record a video on the story. Why? Because I knew in my heart of hearts this story was bullshit. Okay? And this is why I didn't do a video on it, because every time I do a video saying I'm not buying something or you know, I don't buy this story, I get attacked, I get threatened, I get cussed out. Let's go back to last year, okay? Let's go back to Sharmika Moffett. When she came out and she said that some KKK members, you know, beat her ass, and she said they poured some type of flammable solution on her and then lit her up, I called bullshit from day one. I was threatened by so many black folks. Oh, you're not shit, coon bitch. And she was really attacked by the KKK. You're full of shit for you know, questioning her story. A week later, it came out that the bride burnt herself up to make her boyfriend mad and to, you know, get attention from the world. Did anybody apologize to me? Nope. Motherfuckers threatened to unsubscribe, cuss me out. I had to deal with all types of nasty emails. But then when it came out that she lied, no apologies, no I'm sorry for, you know, sending you that nasty email and threatening you. You know, none of that, right? So then after that, the whole situation came out with Tony, the Red Lobster girl, who claimed that somebody wrote "none nigger" on her receipt and folks were donating money. Then again, I said I'm not buying her story. I'm not really feeding into this. I don't believe this. And then especially once the customer came out and said that he didn't write that, and then all of a sudden Tony was so quick to say, well fine, maybe he didn't write it. Well bitch, you told the world that he wrote it. Now you're trying to backtrack? Nah. But even then, folks were going off on me. How you know he didn't write it and da-da-da-da. Sat back. Now it's been proven through, he went and got a person to check out his handwriting, lie detector test and everything else. It's been proven that Tony and her co-workers lied. Then we had the gay woman who came out talking about somebody wrote, you know, they don't want a lesbian waitress and all this other bullshit. I said it on Facebook. It's funny how nobody can just, you know, go to a restaurant anymore and just tip normally. Folks are writing whole books on receipts and shit, basically calling it out that the story was fake. And once again, after people ran and donated to the gay waitress, it came out that the gay waitress lied for attention and the story was fake, okay? And then after that, we had the big fat bitch in Home Depot who decided to glue her ass to the toilet seat. Folks want to know my opinion, and in that video I said I wasn't buying it. Something's not right. I don't understand. You know, if it's super glue, it usually dries fairly quickly, and for it to really, you know, stick to her, I wasn't buying it. Then it came out a week later that this was all a hoax. The bitch wanted some money. She wanted to sue Home Depot and everything else. So TT is to the point now where I get tired of all these stories that go viral and they pull at people's heartstrings, and I just don't feed into them anymore. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Certain stories, yes, but unless there's like definite proof, police reports and everything else, I'm not about to just donate my money to just any damn cause. And it seems like too many folks do that. And this whole situation is just really, really disturbing how this family got over. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys a news clip now that the whole hoax has been exposed. And I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
This morning, KFC says there's no proof a Mississippi family was asked to leave one of its restaurants because of a little girl's injuries upset other customers. The family is standing by its story. Michelle Miller is here with new information on the case that sparked an emotional response all around the country. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning. 3-year-old Victoria Wilcher captured America's hearts earlier this month when her family claimed they were turned away at KFC because of the scars on the little girl's face. Victoria lost an eye and suffered severe injuries in a pit bull attack. Well, after reports of the incident at KFC surfaced, she received more than $130,000 in donations, including a $30,000 pledge from KFC. Victoria Wilcher's story drew national attention after her family took to Facebook accusing KFC of wrongdoing and then shared what happened with the media.
The lady came over and she said if that we'd have to leave, we were disturbing her other customers, but Victoria's face was disturbing other customers.
But Monday, the Laurel Leader Call newspaper dropped a bombshell, claiming it never happened.
The more and more I read, the more and more it just didn't add up.
Reporter Sean Murphy broke the story.
They said that it's just what didn't happen, that nobody who matched the description were there on the date that they said they were.
In the days after Victoria's story went public, supporters came to her aid, donating more than $130,000. But after Monday's article, the backlash began. Victoria's aunt fired back on Facebook, saying, "I promise it's not a hoax. I never thought any of this would blow up the way it has." By Tuesday afternoon, the Facebook page was taken down, as was the fundraising page that brought in donations. Kentucky Fried Chicken and Hannon's Food Service, which operates the restaurant in question, says they looked into the incident internally, then hired a third party to conduct an independent investigation. After looking through hundreds of hours of surveillance footage, they claim there was no evidence that Victoria and her grandmother were asked to leave any KFC in the area. The fast food chain now says the investigation is closed, though they will honor their $30,000 commitment to Victoria, which will go to her medical bills. An attorney for Victoria's family told a Jackson, Mississippi paper that he was disappointed at the attacks made at Victoria and her family since KFC revealed the incident may have been a hoax. He said her grandmother maintains her story, but stopped short of saying it was true.
All right, so you guys just watched the news clip. Now, what I find really disturbing about this situation, y'all may not like what I'm about to say, but I feel like the police need to investigate that this poor child is not being abused, okay? First of all, she is 3 years old. I always question who the hell would have a 3-year-old in an area with multiple pit bulls, first of all. And y'all can miss me with the, oh, well, you know, pit bulls are not dangerous, they're friendly dogs. It wasn't like she was around one pit bull. She was around several pit bulls. How do we know that this family didn't plan this from jump? How do we know that the grandfather or somebody didn't say, sick 'em? How do we know? It's not like this child is 8 or 9 and can, you know, comprehend what sick 'em means or can comprehend what happened. She's 3 years old. For all we know, they could have had the people attack this child and then spun the whole KFC story. You know, I'm just not buying this. The whole situation does not sit well with me, and I think that there needs to be a further investigation. And I'm very disappointed that KFC would still give this family money after they walked off with $130 grand from donations. They've since closed down the Facebook page. They closed down the funding page, and then the media wants to shame the people on the internet for sending threats. The people on the internet are not mad at the little girl. Let's be honest here. The little girl was hurt. The little girl was, you know, attacked. Those scars are not fake on that little girl's face. So the internet is not knocking or attacking the little girl. The internet is knocking her grandmother and her family members who made up this hoax using this little girl's disfigurement to get paid. That's what folks are mad at. And I think for KFC to sit there and still pay the medical bills is bullshit. That money that the internet donated to her, we're not going to get that back. Well, not me, because I didn't donate shit. But you guys who donated are not going to get that money back. So y'all might as well just chop that up as a loss, okay? Let them keep that money. But KFC, what you guys need to do is not give them that money. That $30,000 should be split between your employees who have been dealing with death threats from the time the story broke. The KFC employees in Mississippi at several locations, because the grandmother didn't even know which location it took place at. The initial location that she picked had been closed down for several years, but nobody, you know, figured that out. It was internet people who were looking at that like, well, that don't make no sense. That KFC don't even exist. It's been closed down. And when she was caught out on that location, then she found another location. As if they can't go to the cameras and see, were you there May, whatever date that you claim that you were there. You know, I think that KFC needs to give that $30,000 to all those employees at their store who were threatened with death threats over something that they did not do. You know, this is why I say we have to be careful before we get so emotionally invested in certain stories, because you have a lot of opportunists out here. You have a lot of people trying to get free money. You have a lot of folks who are out here trying to just come up on whatever they can, be it a disfigurement, be it, you know, some type of tragedy. You have a lot of crazy folks out here, and we need to stop just sending our money to any cause. This woman was able to raise $135,000 in less than a few days for this girl. On top of that, a doctor volunteered to fix little girl's, you know, scars and do her surgery for free of charge. So her surgery is going to be taken care of for free. The family's going to walk away with a cool $135,000, and then on top of that, KFC is still willing to give her money. even though the surgeon is willing to do it for free. That to me is just insane. It's bullshit. Like I said, I feel like the police need to investigate this family, because if they can put together this elaborate hoax, make all this money off of this little girl's pain and suffering, who's to say that they didn't have those dogs purposely attack her? Folks are crazy, and I don't put nothing past nobody nowadays. Too many attention whores out here for my liking. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire situation. How do you feel about this story becoming a hoax? How do you feel about all these stories over the past few years that I've covered that have turned out to be hoaxes? And then how do you feel about the fact that I was right all along? I didn't speak on it. I didn't say anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew if I would have spoke on this story, I would have been attacked. I would have got nasty emails. You know what I'm saying? But again, like I always say, we need to be very vigilant before we just jump on anything, before we jump on any bandwagon, before you donate your hard-earned money to a cause that may be fraudulent. Always do your research. Always get the full extent of the story before you just jump on it, because the media doesn't do research anymore. The media is just looking for a hot viral story that will pull in views. They're not doing their research anymore, and that's the part that's horrible. This couldn't have happened a few years ago, because the media would have been on it. They would have been talking to the KFC manager. They would have been having them pull videotape and everything else. The media, they just put stories out there first, and then they ask questions later. And this whole situation proves that. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. All right. Deuces.